What's up with Amir?
Amir's playing.
What about Marcus?
Not playing.
Yeah, we saw Marcus come in wearing a boot. I mean, how serious is that injury?
I mean, it's day to day. The bottom line is the ultimate factor in deciding if he can play or not is can he push off of it, and he couldn't push off of it at all on Wednesday. He's pushing off of it much better now, but there's no reason to put extra stress on it by walking without a boot. So the boot is, a conservative measure to make sure he doesn't put any extra weight on it as it's healing.
Did you knew coming in here tonight that he wasn't going to play, or is that something you guys just decided?
Nah, it's not my decision.
Well,
that's him and the training staff. And I just play who they tell me can play. So 1 o'clock I found out. So I've known for a couple hours.
Anybody else out tonight?
No.
Amir is good to go?
Yes.
How
Was it the same starting lineup?
Yes.
How tough is it to not have Marcus tonight when you guys are playing, Wall and Beal? Such a good.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but at the same time, that's why you have extra guys, and those guys. It's not ideal for anybody to play against those guys. Those guys are really good players. You want as many of your bodies on hand as possible, and obviously Marcus, with his defensive ability, in the way he's impacted games, is a guy that we hope to have, but he's not there. So you play with who's there, and you try to play as well as you can. And it's a great opportunity for our other guards, and again, the young guys that may get a crack at him too. So it's a great learning experience for those guys.
What have you thought of Jim Power so far? Is that a steal? Is it now something internal?
Yeah, I think he's been solid. I mean, I think he's, for the most part, doing everything that we'd ask him to do. I think the biggest thing for all of us on the defensive end of the floor is tightening our stuff down and making sure that we're exactly where we need to be all the time. And that's not a Jay thing, that's an all of us thing. And then offensively, I think that there's obviously some benefit to playing him at the 4 because of the way that he can play with that extra space. But I think he's done a pretty good job at the 3 of taking advantage of his opportunities. He can space the floor, he can shoot it well enough, he can drive closeouts, and so I think he's doing a pretty good job of that.
Brad, when you look at the Wizards offensively, how distinctly different are they from last year? If it is a drastic change in your view?
I don't think anything. You have to ask Coach Whitman if he thinks it's drastic, right? I think at the end of the day, when they played against us last year is my basis point for it, right? So they went with Rasul Butler at the 4, Paul Pierce at the 4 a lot. We were winning here, and they went to that lineup, and they almost came back and beat us. Next night, we actually came back, and then they were small a lot late. The last game that we played was never a game, so we never really tested them to see if they would go small or not. They got into the playoffs, and they went small a lot with Pierce. So I don't know how drastic of a change it is to year, but the one thing that's obvious is they always have a shooting 4 on the floor. And, credit to Humphries for getting his range to where it is. And, obviously with Gooden and Dudley, that's 2 more guys that shoot it. So that's a decision that they've made, and I think it's good for their team, and they're playing really well, and the ball's going to attract so much attention with the ball. The more spacing you have, the better.
How much better has Wall?
For them.
How much better has Wall gotten as a playmaker in your eyes?
So it's not fair for me to judge where he started because I wasn't watching that close, to be honest. But from just the last 2 years, really good. There were ways and theories that people had on defending him, and he's disproved some of those. He is a guy that can shoot the ball well enough. Certainly can go on streaks where he really makes shots, but you have to honor it. He can shoot the pull-up well. He's phenomenal going left off the pick and roll because he's incredibly explosive. He's incredibly explosive going either way, but then his passing going right is ridiculous. So, you pick your poison with that guy.
How far has Avery come since you got here in terms of being able to score off the dribble?
I think that he's worked hard at it, and again, I don't think it's fair for me to assess when he was 19 and when he first came into the NBA, but we feel like he's improving. I think he picks his spots well, and the last couple of games I think he's been really good offensively. Hopefully that continues because we need we need those guys to score for us. And hey, right now I think the one thing that you've got to be able to do to win in this league is you got to be able to score. And we're not doing it well enough to get over the hump right now.
You plan to play fewer players too.
I'll play how the game's going. So my goal was not to play those many guys in the first half the other day, but we had 18 points with about 10 minutes to go in the half, and you're just searching for anything. But hey, we've got. I think that we still have a lot of depth. We still have a lot of people that can play. And I said yesterday, like it's one of those things where it's either going to separate itself, or we just ultimately have to do that. And there will be more of that as we move forward.